The impossible goal sets this really high floor. And the floor is the dictator of what you say yes and no to. And for an impossible goal, the floor is so high because almost nothing will work, right?
Yes.
So we got to look for and find the ones that might get us there. Again, it's still a very impossible goal. But when you start looking for and finding those new knowledge or resources, right, then that's really where you want to build your mastery.
Welcome to the Jasmine Star Show, a place where we got to talk about business and mindset. And today we are going to be talking about achieving the impossible. How's that for a suspenseful tagline? I'm bringing you to the precipice of awesomeness. I couldn't be more excited because welcoming back to our show is our ever amazing co-host, Amy Porterfield.
Hello, my friends.
Okay. So as a quick reminder, Amy has carefully curated some of the most incredible people to be on the show today, and today's guest is nothing short of that. Dr. Benjamin Hardy is incredible, and I will say, go up very far on a limb, that this man has changed my life and business in the last 6 months. So as I'm reading his writing, as I'm listening to him in my voice, as I am quite honestly taking my earbuds out from the airplane, putting them in my husband's earbuds, and I'm like, just give me 5 minutes, listen to 5 minutes. And then he asks me, do you have a piece of paper? And I'm like, I knew it. Of course you need a piece of paper because this guy blows your dang mind. Dr. Benjamin Hardy, welcome to the Jasmine Star Show.
Yes.
I feel like we should clap or something.
Yeah. I was like, no. Okay. So on the Amy Porterfield show, marketing made easy, you clap.
Yeah.
On the Jasmine Star show,
what do we do?
We got laser horns. Wah, 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 wah. So Amy and I were going back and forth. What do you feel most comfortable with? Do we say Ben, Dr. Hardy, Dr. Benjamin? What do you feel?
We're going Ben right now.
Okay. Okay, listen, if I had a doctor in front of my name, I'd be like, it's Dr.
You're like, it's only doctor.
It's only doctor. Exactly. Ben, thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
Amy and I, as we were carefully planning the show, we had a theme of the show. And so, Amy, if you would remind Ben, I was like, Dr. Hardy, if you would remind Ben what the theme is, and then talk to us about why you invited him from your perspective.
Okay, so the theme of our shows is going against the grain and doing something that most people wouldn't expect, or in your case, something very unreasonable, impossible goals.
Yep.
And so we're going to talk about that today. But the reason I chose Ben is that I was at a charity event for Village Impact, and Ben was there, and I had really high heels on cobblestone. And so I was walking down the street, and Ben pulled up and basically said, do you want to ride? And the answer is absolutely yes. So I jump in the car, and we had already met. It wasn't like I was jumping in with a stranger. And we got to drive back to the hotel together, and I instantly knew there was something special about you. You are a doctor. You are incredibly intelligent. Your work is important, but you also have heart. And the instant he got in the car, he wanted to know all about me. Tell me about you. What do you do? And I just love the person you are and the work that you do. And your work has changed my life. Just like Jasmine, she's going to tell a funny story of how we all got into your work. And so I'm so very glad that you're here. Yes.
Huge fan. And so just, honored. And by the way, I've never heard of the concept that you came up with curating podcast guests. I think it's, in my opinion, the best form of relationship creation, but also podcast. Like that, amazing idea.
Thank you.
Seriously, amazing idea.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Now, if you and I were on an elevator together, we're going down 4 floors, and I ask you, what do you do? This is where I want to start the podcast. And so we're absolutely going to get into origin story, but oftentimes podcasts follow a very systematic framework of tell me how you got into what it is you do. And oftentimes I want to actually get the value first. So let's set the framework, then we're going to go into storytelling, then we're going to peel back the layers. And then by the end of the show, people are going to walk away with a little bit of swag saying, I'm about to do something impossible. Hey, okay. So 4 floors, what do we do?
I do help individuals and organizations achieve impossible goals.
Okay.
We weren't in front of these fancy podcasts, Mike. Okay, so speaking of the impossible, I want to set the stage. Amy and I, with 6 other women, are in Laguna Beach, California. It's like balmy 73 degrees. We're looking out on the Pacific Ocean, and we're sitting in this lounge area, and they have these big bay windows and doors open. So the breeze is coming in. A few of us have bubbly drinks, sometimes tea, and we're talking about doing and achieving things bigger than what we think we can do and how we think, oh, this is absolutely crazy. And so then one woman says, have you read 10x is easier than 2x? And at that point, no. So she gives us this rundown, and there was another woman who had read the book, and they're going on and on. So finally, we have to interject. And we're like, "Great, so happy you guys had that experience. We have no idea what
Good
you're
for you
talking
guys."
about. Amazing." And they said, "Well, you need to go and download the book." So that is in the afternoon. The next morning, all 8 of us
Yes.
had downloaded and started the book. And I'm listening to you on 2X, and I am flying through this content, and I am like, my God. So then the next day, it almost becomes a powwow about the first 3 chapters.
It was.
Right?
Yes.
And so we're talking about the transformative effect that us taking the belief and saying, okay, what a lot of us are aiming to do is to double our business. You know, we're like, okay, we can double it. And here's how we're going to aim. Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, because I'm all about doubling my business. I've talked about that for years.
Sure.
And I thought that was bold and the way to go. And then I'm listening to this while I'm getting ready in the morning at Laguna Hotel. And I'm like, wait a second. He wants me to 10x.
Yes.
And he wants me to throw away everything that I'm doing that isn't about this one thing that I want to get to. And I have to tell you, it freaked me out. It really kind of scared me. And I thought, this is going to disrupt everything. So talk to me
Yes.
about that. This is a big disruptor. And why do you want it? Do you want it to be a bit disruptor?
That's the natural effect.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's part of the effect. So one thing I'll just quickly say, and then I'll kind of explain why you would want that.
Okay.
I have to give you massive kudos because as someone who has created and shared ideas for a living, it can be it's pretty brilliant if you can just like say, okay, that was what I thought for a long time, but I'm open to this new idea, right?
Yes.
It's the whole Mark Twain thing. It's not what you know that hurts, or it's not what you don't know that hurts you. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so.
Yes.
So I think it takes massive humility to question assumptions, question old frameworks. And that's actually part of why you would want to go 10x or why you would want to pursue impossible goals.
Okay.
I kind of use those two as shorthand for each other.